In this video, we create a customer support chatbot with LLMChain from LangChain. First, we need to install OpenAI and LangChain. For authentication purpose, import OpenAI and give OpenAI.api_key. And this is the place where you insert your own key. We need to have a chat OpenAI model. We are going to use GPT 3.5 Turbo. So I import chat OpenAI from LangChain.chat models. We are going to use the LLMChain to create the chatbot. So we import LLMChain, and we also need the prompt template to store the conversations in the memory. Because there is going to be a sequence of conversations, we are going to use the conversation buffer window memory. We do have other options for this, but let's start with the conversation buffer window memory. The chatbot that we are writing is for the AI model to behave like a salesperson. So in the template I mentioned, I want it to act as a salesperson. This is where the difference lies. We give a history, and whatever input we want, we can give it as the human input. And then we have the output from the assistant. The prompt template takes two parameters. One is the prompt itself and the input variables. Here we have two input variables, namely the history and human input. Next, we create an LLM chain with the LLM model. I'm going to use a ChatGPT OpenAI, and I have not mentioned the model, but by default it takes a GPT 3.5 Turbo. I have set the temperature as 0.7 because I want it to be a little creative, and I have given my authentication key. The second parameter is the prompt. Then I want the flow of details in the screen, and so I give verbose is equal to true. I make use of a conversation buffer window memory. Here I make use of the last two conversations, and this is implicitly passed to the history parameter. I have mentioned that k is equal to 2 to say that I need the last two conversations. I can increase it depending on my requirement. This is specifically used because I want to reduce the number of tokens that I use in a chat bot. There are other options like conversation buffer memory, in which case it takes the entire conversation history, or we have the conversation summary memory. The conversation summary memory gives a summary of the previous conversations as input to the next conversation, but obviously it has to go through a summary LLM, and the number of tokens would actually not be reduced in a conversation summary memory. Now that I have created a chain with the LLM and the prompt and the memory, I now need to predict it. To run the chain, I call the predict function, and then I pass the parameter, which is the human input. When I run it, it says, because I've given verbose is equal to true, it says entering new LLM chain. The initial prompt is I want you to act as a salesperson. The human input is given, I need a TV. It finishes a chain, and the output of the assistant is, great, what kind of TV are you looking for? Now let me continue the conversation. So I call the predict method again, and I say that the human input is, I need a big TV. When I run it, the initial conversation is found. Along with that, the new output from the assistant is also taken. Now, in this portion, I am going to write the sequence of steps it has to follow so that I can have a chatbot which continuously prompts for the user's input and stops when the user presses end. So first I get the input from the user. Then when the user presses end, I print end of conversation and break out of the infinite loop that I have created. If the user has not pressed enter, then I call predict on the chain and I give the user input as the human input. Then I print the response from the chatbot. I continue this process till the user presses end. Let's run this. So initially, I already have initiated a conversation in which the final thing I said is I need a big TV. And it asked me, we have a variety of sizes. What would be your ideal size? So let me say I need 55 inches. So when I say I need 55 inches, the bot has given me a reply and it has actually asked me any specific features if I'm looking for. Let's say I need good clarity. If you look at the output, we say we get the prompt of after formatting from the beginning till the latest that we have given. But in the memory, only the last two conversations have been stored. And now let me end my conversation. So in this manner, it is very easy for me to just create a chatbot using LLMChain. Thank you.